Welcome to Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by FantasyGuru.com. Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. Ray Flowers breaks it all down for you from a fantasy sports perspective. Morning, everyone. Ray Flowers, FantasyGuru.com. Hope you are doing well in this special holiday week. All kinds of celebrations for all kinds of holidays. Whatever you believe in, whatever you celebrate, hopefully it's a great week with your family, your friends. Have a good time. Take a moment to take a break. Treat yourself right. Do some nice things for yourself, all that kind of good stuff. And enjoy the holiday season. Remember, over at fantasyguru.com, we've got a community of fantasy sports aficionados. We also got a community there. And in fact, it's the largest active community in fantasy sports, as Jeff Mans always says. So if you're feeling a little down, you're looking for a little bit of a boost, you can probably find some friends, some people to chat with over at fantasyguru.com. No, it's a hard time for some people. For other people, it's a wonderful time. Whatever it is, wherever you are, hopefully we can be a part of it, no matter how small, of bringing some positivity to your life. I'm Ray Flowers of fantasyguru.com. I will be here with you Monday, Tuesday, Friday this week. We won't have a show on Thursday. It's the only day this week. Thursday is obviously Christmas. Won't be here on Christmas. So I'll be here Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Justin Fensterman will be here on Wednesdays. So 4 of the 5 days, we will have a show this week. The only one will not be Christmas there on that Thursday. But we will return on Friday with 3 football games to talk about. Week 17's got 3 games on Christmas. So we'll talk about that on Friday. So remember, 12 to 1 Eastern, about an hour each day. Could be a little bit more, a little less. All depends. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday this week is the schedule. I'm Ray Flowers. Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, all of those cool spots at the Ray Flowers. Here with you all the time. The Elite Sports Show on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. I think that's only on a couple days this week. So I won't be on Wednesday with Jeff. There's no show on Wednesday. There's no show on Thursday either. So Jeff will be there today, rocking and rolling, basically doing in a larger format what we're doing here. We'll spend the next hour today talking about all the weekend game action for the NFL. Jeff will do that for 3 hours. So he'll have a little bit more time, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. Monday is the only day of the week on this show. If you're new, welcome. Monday's the only day of the week on this show where it's just me. Every other day, the 4 other days, Monday through Tuesday through Friday. Get it right, Ray. Where we have a guest on about halfway through the show. But today it's just me. Normally it's just the Sunday action, but we had 2 games on Saturday, so I figured what the hell, let's talk about those as well. So we'll talk about all the weekend action, game by game, team by team, what happened in the NFL. Lots of surprising performances, lots of poor performances, lots of injuries. Did you make the finals? Are you looking like you're going to make the finals and you're limping in with injuries and beat up players? It was a messy weekend. We had official issues in the Lions game in particular. We had DK Metcalf trying to punch a fan. It's a wild week. We'll talk all about it here over the next hour. Don't forget to go to fantasyguru.com. Click that subscribe tab in the top right corner of the page. Get signed up for the football product. Get signed up for any of the products. But if you get signed up for the football product, it's $49.99 the rest of the season. That includes all the playoffs. The only thing you don't get for that is the Super Bowl betting guide. And I mentioned everything for football because it's all the college football. It's all the NFL. Everything we do, articles, rankings, Discord rooms, live streams, podcasts, anything we do for college and pro football the rest of the season, for the DFS space, for the betting space, for the seasonal space. So all of it, everything we do for football, basically the rest of the way, $49.99. Get signed up right now. Get access to everything we've got for the football except that Super Bowl betting package. And so hopefully we can help you make a few bucks here down the stretch. Maybe do something nice for yourself, but make some cash to spend some money on the family for the holidays, what have you. Also remember, and I'll throw that up on the screen right now, we do have gift cards. So if you want to get a gift card, spend $25, we give you 10 free bucks. Spend $50, we give you a free 15. Spend $100, we give you a free 25. Spend $200, we give you a free 50. So buy yourself a gift card. We're not going to judge you. Give it to yourself. Totally fine. Give it to your friend. Split it. Figure it out. It's available right now. Good stocking stuffer. Write a gift card from fantasyguru.com. Maybe that's something that will appeal to some of you. And don't forget to also take advantage of the opportunity to sign up for the MVP plan right now. You can use these gift cards, obviously, to sign up and get discounts and all that right now, as well as getting the free cash on the card. Right now, we have the MVP plan, which is basically everything besides baseball and football. So that's NASCAR, PGA, MMA, horse racing, hockey, basketball, every sport we cover besides football and baseball. That is the MVP plan. Check out over at fantasyguru.com. All right, let me make a little switcheroonie to the screen there. By the way, that's the local neighborhood. Yeah, there's a local neighborhood here. I think most areas have a local neighborhood with the crazy houses. That's not my house, but there's a neighborhood where you can go through and look at all that stuff, and it's a pretty cool neighborhood. And we might be checking it out. Though it's been pouring rain all morning here. We need it here in California, but it's been pouring rain. We were thinking about going tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. Depends what the weather looks like. All right, let's dive in here and talk some football here. The Eagles moved to 10-5. The Commanders fall to 4-11. Obviously, the Commanders' season's in the toilet. Eagles clinch their division, all that kind of good stuff. And this game back on Saturday. Saquon Barkley ran for 132 yards and a touchdown. Didn't catch a pass. And luckily, the last couple of games, Barkley started to pick things up a little bit on the ground because after that 7-catch effort a few weeks ago, he's just not involved as a pass catcher anymore. They're just not using him in that role. Period, point blank, end of story. He's just not involved as a pass catcher. Jalen Hurts ran for 40 yards, threw for 185 and a couple scores. It was a standard game for him. Antonio Brown didn't get to 100 yards, but he got 9 for 95. Devonta Smith got in the end zone. Dallas Goedert got in the end zone. Very standard fare on the Eagles side. On the other side of things, we obviously have Jaden Daniels, who's done for the year. Marcus Mariota got hurt in this game, so Josh Johnson had to come in. There's a chance that Josh Johnson might be the starter this week for the Commanders, which opens up all kinds of issues. McLaurin led the team with 3 catches for 53 yards. Yeah, we need Marcus Mariota in there. How often do you say to yourself, we need Marcus Mariota? Like, that's not a statement you often make, but they really need Marcus Mariota in there. We'll see what happens with the quarterback position. We'll get more information throughout. They have a 3-headed monster in the backfield, but Chris Rodriguez did retake with health the lead role in this backfield. McNichols is playing a lot of third downs. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt did get in the end zone, but he had 8 carries for 25 yards, and that touchdown didn't do anything. Chris Rodriguez, 15 carries, 63 yards, and a score. And we've kind of settled into Rodriguez being a 15-60 touchdown kind of guy, 15-50 touchdown kind of. It's kind of where we're at. So he's in the flex consideration here as we head into finals week, but nothing overly exciting for the Commanders. And watch that quarterback situation before we make any determination there. Speaking of quarterbacks, Packers fell to the Bears. Bears improved 11-4. Packers fall to 9-5-1. Jordan Love on a nasty, dirty hit. Helmet to helmet right to his face. Suffered a concussion. We'll see if he can play this week. It's unlikely. Guys don't normally clear in 1 week from the concussion scenario. Malik Willis came in and looked good. 121 yards and a touchdown, ran for 44 yards. Unfortunately, he hurt his shoulder. Head coach of the team came out and said, hey, look, he's okay, but it's something we got to monitor. So Clayton Tune, let's hope Malik Willis can play this week. Malik Willis is a very intriguing super flex second quarterback option, of course, because of his ability to use his wheels. And again, he's actually passed the ball pretty effectively in his limited work with the Packers after that disastrous run with the Titans. We'll see what that means moving forward. Romeo Doubs was injured right at the end of the game on that kick return, the onside kick. He had 5 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. That's it. Watson had 2 for 17. Wicks had 2 for 12. Reed had 3 for 35. Big story was probably Josh Jacobs hurt. I didn't say he re-injured himself, but he just wasn't right. So Emmanuel Wilson ended up leading the team on the ground. So that's a scenario to watch really closely because obviously those two guys carried the ball 26 times, Jacobs and Wilson. And if Jacobs is out and Wilson is in or vice versa, that's a storyline to follow closely this week. With the Bears, Burden was out and Odunze was out, so we knew that would change things. The hope was that Colston Loveland would see an expanded role against the Packers. He absolutely did not. He saw the same target share, saw the same catch total, produced the same yardage, did nothing, 3 for 30 yards. Hugely disappointing effort if you pivoted in his direction, and it did make sense to do that. So if you made that move, pending who your first tight end was, sometimes it doesn't work, but it was the right call. That was a move that would have been, I think, a good call. It just didn't work out. DJ Moore won the game with that touchdown in overtime, 7 catches. Seems like a long time ago, doesn't it? 5 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. He was the only guy to catch 50 yards of passes. There was nothing in the passing attack. Williams went for 250 and 2, which is a pretty good game considering there wasn't much in the passing attack. Monungai had 93 yards from scrimmage, including a couple of catches. DeAndre Swift still led the way in touches on the ground, still led the way in yardage, but he is dealing with some things when it comes to Kyle Monungai stealing some touches from him. It is, right? It's nothing new. That's the way they're going to continue to operate things. Swift is the starter, quote unquote. He's the fantasy option. But Kamanungai is in flex consideration, but when he doesn't get in the end zone, not the greatest play of all time. Eric S. says, good morning, Ray. Happy holidays, and a big thank you to all you and all the folks at Fantasy Guru for what you do for us. You're welcome, Eric. Thank you. Appreciate the kind words. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone in the chat room here. Spread the word about the free show and all that. But like I said, we really try to foster a community of positivity. It's not always, Sundays, even in our chat rooms over at FG, there's always some asshat that causes problems. Happens every week. There's always people on social media. Have you noticed? You probably have, right? None of us really do social media anymore. It's like, what are you going to do? Go out there and get yelled at by people? So there's always a few people in Discord, and there was a couple this weekend, but for the most part, it was pretty good. And I think that, we try to foster that positivity, Eric, and, people like you do make it a positive environment. And that's why I hope people that are struggling at this time of year will find some positivity from this show or the environment as well. I got a lot of negativity coming up. Don't worry. But right now, let's try to be positive. Really appreciate it. Eric. Gavin says, no Garrett Wilson, James Conner, Trey Benson, half a season of Marion Hampton, and made the championship. Way to go, Gavin. It's been a battle. Time to finish it off. Thanks for all your help. Good, sir. Well, that's great. We've talked about my FSGA team. I had Benson and Wilson and two of my players on that squad. I didn't make the playoffs. So congratulations, Gavin, on making the playoffs. Super congratulations on making it to the finals. That's fantastic. Articles should be coming out this week as normal, despite the holidays. As I hinted at last week, and congratulations again, Gavin. As I hinted at last week, an article that normally comes out Thursday morning. I don't work Christmas Day. It's the one day of the year I don't work. Period. Everyone's known it forever. I don't work on Christmas Day. I will post my matchup article, that 12,000 word article with the charts and everything. I will post that on Wednesday night. So it'll be available for you on Thursday as the game action goes. David P says, Merry Christmas, Ray, to you and yours. I lost, but thanks for all the help. Much appreciated. You're welcome, David. Yeah, sometimes, and again, we talked about with Colson Loveland. Sometimes you make the right call and it doesn't work. And I've said this to other people this year too. You made the wrong call. You made the wrong decision. I'm glad it worked, right? So and that's the nature of sports, right? You do the right things, and we talk about it here on the show, and Jeff talks about it on his show. We talk about it over at fantasyguru.com. You do the right thing enough, eventually you win. Doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it's a injury, sometimes it's a bad call, sometimes it's a drop pass, sometimes it's a slip tackle. And this game can be really close too, right? Sometimes you get blown out, you lose by 35 points. Other times you lose by 0.3. Like I've always said it. Playing fantasy football is easier than playing fantasy baseball. But winning in fantasy football, that ain't easy. That is not an easy thing to do. Tampa Bay, speaking of not an easy thing to do, Tampa Bay falls to the Bucks. Try that again. Tampa Bay falls to the Panthers. They fall to 7-8. Panthers fall to 8-7. They'll play in a couple weeks, final week of the season, to basically settle this division unless the Bucks lose this week and the Panthers win. Panthers won 23-20. There was that late read. Baker thought Mike Evans was going one way. Mike Evans went the other way. Baker threw that interception right at the end of the game to basically end things as the Panthers emerged victorious. The Buccaneers have created an extremely, extremely frustrating situation here. We've got Bucky Irving, who's the guy between the 20s, 19 carries for 71 yards. He always leads the backfield in snaps and touches. Then you got Rashid White catching a couple passes, getting a few carries, which he did yesterday, 5 carries, 2 receptions. But then we got this Sean Tucker bastard. Sean Tucker, 4 carries, 3 yards, touchdown. Sean Tucker is playing 5 to 12 snaps a week. He's not on the field. And he's the touchdown guy. He's the goal line guy. So we have Bucky Irving touching the ball 18 times a week, giving you 85 yards, but no scores. We have Rashad White giving you 8 PPR points. Who cares? And Sean Tucker scoring a touchdown, not being a usable piece himself, but caving completely the upside and the potential of Bucky Irving. Extremely frustrating. At least we know what it is. But yikes, we don't normally see teams do this much anymore. Usually it's 2 backs. It's rare that it's 3 backs. But Sean Tucker's the goal line back for the Bucs. He's just not doing anything else, and that's killing Bucky Irving. Emeka Egbuka led this team yesterday with 40 receiving yards. It was his only catch. Egbuka actually fell behind Jalen McMillan yesterday. Egbuka, who was looking like the rookie of the year through the first 5-6 weeks of the season, 4th wide receiver yesterday on his own team. No one did anything here. Mike Evans had that touchdown where he leaped over the defender in the end zone. doing the Mike Evans thing. 5 catches for Godwin, okay, but 30 yards. Like, this offense just didn't do anything yesterday. Panthers, Rico Dowdle led the way on the ground. He's playing all the first and second downs. Hubbard's playing all the third downs. Neither one of those guys is usable right now. They have defined roles, but they're just not doing anything. Bryce Young is playing effective football, and they're winning games. So good for him and the team. As I said earlier in the year when we were discussing this team, they're going to make the playoffs if they do and lose in the first game. I mean, that's just going to happen. But hey, this is a positive season for them. Chance to finish over 500, win their division. 191 yards, 2 touchdowns for Bryce Young. Tedrow McMillan, 6 for 73 and a touchdown. He's a star. He already is there. He, not Emeka Ibuka, is the guy right now, right? Pretty interesting how that turned out. Jalen Coker, as we talked about last week, as we discussed in the Discord room, with McMillan active, you don't want to be playing Coker 3 catches for 47 yards. Touchdown for Sanders. Who cares? He caught 2 balls on 2 targets for 9 yards. It was one of those games there in terms of the Panthers offense, which has been pretty consistent. It's often a running back, pretty much always McMillan, and then the rest of this offense, just stay away from. Buffalo defeats the Browns. They moved to 11-4, 23-20. This game was 23-10 at one point. And, Josh Allen hurt his foot on that scramble. He tried to get away from pressure. You've probably seen the highlights. If you haven't, he was running around trying to escape the pressure. Lost like 20 yards. It was a 22-yard sack or something like that. Fell at the goal line, hurt his ankle. Barely reached the ball out over the goal line. So his body was actually laying in the end zone. But the ball wasn't. Hey, look at that. So he saved a safety, but his ankle was tested and deemed okay. He returned and played the game, but he didn't look right. The offense did absolutely jack all nothing in the second half. This Bills team, Cook looked fantastic, 117 yards and a couple touchdowns on the ground. That was it. Ty Johnson got a rushing touchdown as well, 3 carries for 16 yards. This offense was bad yesterday, and for half this game was terrible. They have nothing. They have nothing. They have nothing you can count on. Shakir, if you're looking for 7 points, he's your man. Guys in and out of the lineup at the wide receiver position. Gabe Davis was inactive. Keon Coleman was inactive. They're not even on the field. Brandon Cooks was added. He didn't do anything on it. He had a target, didn't catch it. Palmer had a catch for 2 yards. Shavers had 1 catch. This offense is just bad right now. There is no consistency. It is Josh Allen and Mr. Cook, and that's it. And the 3 tight ends being utilized all over the place makes it difficult to trust even Dalton Kincaid, which wasn't the case about a month ago. On the Brown side of things, this game was highlighted obviously by the injury to Quinshon Judkins. He's likely to miss he's got a leg issue and an ankle issue. They're saying 4 to 5 months. So he's obviously done for the year, and hopefully he'll be ready for week 1 next season. But he's out. Dylan Sampson's out. Jerome Ford's out. Raheem Sanders and Travion Williams. Well, that's what we're going to have here the rest of the way. Kind of in a scenario where Williams will be the 3rd down back. Sanders probably be the 1st and 2nd down backs. They haven't run the ball very effectively really anyway. So nothing to get overly excited about there. We'll talk more about that in the waiver wire articles this week. Probably we might even talk about it tomorrow with Armando Brasal. We'll see. Shedeur Sanders is not good. Now, one of his picks bounced right out of the hands of Judkins. That was not his fault, but he's just not good. And he's a rookie, and, he's without Jack Conklin was placed on the injured list. His season's over. The offensive lineman. They got issues in the backfield we were talking about. David Njoku's not on the field anymore because of his knee issue. It's not all on Sanders, but he's just not very good right now. He ran for 49 yards, so you got that. Harold Fannin was the only pass catcher of note here in this entire game. 4 for 34 and a touchdown, which would have been enough. But he also had a carry for a touchdown. Yeah, a 1-yard touchdown on the old handoff to the tight end thing because we don't trust a running back on our roster. Hey, man, it is what it is. But anyway, the Browns put up a fight. They almost came back in this game. Harold Fannin scored 2 touchdowns, so if you used him, yippee-ki-yay. That's about it. The Chargers defeated the Cowboys. The Chargers have been pass-heavy. They've been run-heavy. And now they're kind of back to being pass-heavy. They've kind of gone the gamut here. They actually, I think I saw, what was it? They ran 12 different formations yesterday, which was the most this season or something like that. They're mixing and matching all over the place. Bottom line is this. Kamani Vidal got hurt, so that opened things up a little bit for Marion Hampton. Hampton only caught a single pass, but 1685 and a touchdown on the ground, so he got it done. Herbert got it done with a rushing touchdown, 2 passing touchdowns. Quentin Johnson with a beautiful, I know I'm saying it, beautiful one-headed catch in the end zone. Yeah, he did. 4 catches, 104 yards and a touchdown. Ladd McConkey got in the end zone, though he only caught 4 balls for 43 yards. Rondé Gadsden, 1 catch. Keenan Allen, 5 for 44. Who cares? This offense is a dangerous offense. Now, no weather involved in Dallas. Dallas Cowboys defense isn't very good, so we can't get really excited about anything here. Hampton is looking at significant workload if Vidal obviously can't play the next game, because Hassan Haskins played like 6 snaps, and they don't want to give him the ball. They gave him 4 carries for 14 yards. So Hampton could be looking at a 20-touch game next time out if Vidal is not active. Trey Harris is interesting. 4 catches for 54 yards, but the bottom line is here that even when we have a game of 300 yards, there was only one guy with 55 yards yesterday. The wide receivers had 4 catches, 5 catches, 4 catches. You don't want 4 wide receivers all doing that. It makes it very difficult to get excited about anybody, but at least the offense, though in a good matchup, at least the offense got things done. On the Dallas side of things, Dak Prescott went for 244 and 2. George Pickens returned to the world of the living. Thank you, George. Appreciate that. 7 for 130 yards and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb went over 1,000 yards. So he had a really moderate game, 6 for 51. At least it's not a killer. At least you didn't go Justin Jefferson on you, though Justin Jefferson actually had a decent... Yeah, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. CeeDee Lamb, 6 for 51 yards. Ferguson, 3 for 19. Flournoy had a touchdown. He also had a second touchdown called back on a penalty. Ryan Flournoy could have had 2 scores yesterday. Now, unfortunately, he was hurt in this game. So we'll have to see what that means long-term. Jonathan Mingo actually stepped up and took his spot as the number 3 receiver yesterday, crazy as that is. But we'll see with Flournoy. But he did have a touchdown. Would have had a second one if not for a penalty, but he then did get injured. On the ground, Javonte Williams got the neck injury, but he played. He just didn't do anything. They were down in this game. It was close at halftime, and the second half was all Chargers. Williams had 9 carries for 34 yards and caught 2 passes for 9 yards. A terribly, terribly disappointing time for him to the bed in the fantasy playoffs. Next up, Cincinnati and Miami. I don't really know what's going on with Joe Burrow. We talked about this last week. Someone actually asked me in Discord on Sunday morning, what do we think about his mental situation, Joe Burrow? And I said, look, I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist. I have no idea. I haven't talked to the guy, no clue. But I will say this. He went out and played a good football game. He should have been started. I saw someone in Discord say they didn't start him. And they got attacked by other members. I don't know why someone didn't start Burrow in that matchup in Miami when weather wouldn't be a concern against Miami's defense. Burrow went out and lit him up. 309 yards and 4 scores. Jamar Chase didn't get in the end zone. Hard to be disappointed with 20 PPR points. But he didn't get in the end zone. It was a little disappointing. Mike Gesicki had a touchdown on his 3 catches for 35 yards. T. Higgins had 3 for 53. And Chase Brown, 4 for 43 and 2. So let's talk about 2 of these scenarios. T. Higgins returned and got in the end zone. 3 targets. But he got in the end zone. So you were fine if you started him. Note that his snap percentage was the lowest it's been since 2023. He didn't even play 2/3 of the snaps. So they were cautious with him in his return from the head injury. Didn't do anything, 3 for 53, but one of the catches was a nice touchdown grab, so he paid off in the fantasy space. Chase Brown lost a rushing touchdown to Pirine, and it was like, oh, here we go, right? Pirine gets a touchdown in the first half. It's like, oh, man. Chase Brown says, ain't no thing, brah. I'm good. 12 carries for 66 yards and a touchdown of his own on the ground. He then caught 4 balls for 2 touchdowns. Chase Brown is rolling. And I wrote about this. I think it was in the Coffin Corner piece that comes out on Fridays at FG, where basically I, pontificate about cool things that are happening on the world of football in terms of numbers. For some reason, Chase Brown only performs in the second half. It doesn't make any sense, but there it is, especially in the pass catching department. I don't know, but he did it yet again. And right now, Pirine is taking on a larger role than any of us really anticipated with the healthy Chase Brown. But the interesting thing is Brown is still getting his 15 touches and still producing. So it hasn't affected Brown's production at all, even though Pirine's been heavily involved here the last month or so. On the other side of things with the Dolphins, Quinn Ewers didn't look any worse than Tua Tagovailoa. Maybe stretched the field a little bit more as well. So, the offense didn't struggle because of him. He actually allowed Waddle to go 5 for 72, which was Waddle's best game in about a month. It's better than he was doing with Tua Tagovailoa. Greg Dulcich caught 3 balls for 46 yards, had a terrible fumble. Darren Waller didn't do anything, 3 for 40. And it is 2 weeks in a row where it's that smash matchup against the Bengals, horrible defense against tight ends. And the second week in a row is disappointing. Now, the Dolphins were better than the Ravens were against the Bengals. And if one of the two guys, if Waller had gone 6 for 86, cool. But with that being the number 6 for 86 that both he and Dulcich did together, Devon Achane at 81 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Only caught 3 balls for 9 yards, so a little disappointing. But hey, when you score a touchdown, when you have 90 yards of offense, when you catch 3 balls, and that's what we've seen from Achane all year. Even a disappointing game for him is 16 points. It's just, that's how it is, and he did that again yesterday. Quinn Ewers will almost certainly start yet again for the Dolphins, and again, he was okay. Nothing exciting, nothing bad at the same time. All right, Jets versus Saints. Jets are terrible. By the way, they've already announced Brady Cook will be their quarterback yet again. I guess Taylor and Fields are not going to take a snap unless Cook gets hurt the rest of the way. They lose and fall to 3-12 to the Jets. They fall to the Saints, who continue to win. The Saints playing some pretty good football right now, so kudos to them. I don't know if it ultimately doesn't mean anything, and the higher draft pick would be nice, but they're playing some really good football right now, and they smashed the Jets. Jets jumped out to a 3-0 lead, and then that was basically it. Breece Hall had 18 touches, and we keep saying Breece Hall was running back 9, then he was running back 15, now he's running back 22. We keep saying over at FG to start him, and we should be saying that. He got 18 touches. He's just not doing anything. This offense just sucks, and it's really difficult to have 18 touches and do nothing. He had 18 touches and he had 63 yards. Ugh. Isaiah Davis has caught 4 balls for 52 yards to lead the team. Mason Taylor was out yet again with injury. So Ruckert, who signed that big contract extension during the week, obviously he'd be the guy that stepped forward at tight end. No, it's Stone Smart. Stone Smart led the team with 5 catches for 34 yards. His offense is just, there's nothing here. Adonai Mitchell, 3 for 43. 3 for 43. Can always pray on a touchdown, a long play from him. He did have a 26-yard grab. But there's just nothing here. It's really just, especially in the case of Hall, if you somehow made it to the finals with Hall, I can't tell you he's not a decent flex option. He touched the ball 18 times. It's just so bad. On the Saints side of things, look, I'll say it this way. Taysom Hill's a good football player. Okay? He's a good football player. Saints didn't win the game because of Taysom Hill yesterday. They shouldn't be featuring Taysom Hill as they did. They completely featured Taysom Hill yesterday, which they shouldn't be doing at all. This team is 5-10, and they're trying to build for the future. Honestly, what is Taysom Hill, 35, 36 years old? Why? Why aren't you testing out your young players for the future? Why are you featuring a guy whose career is over? Doesn't make any sense. Just because he can do everything well, which again, it makes him a remarkable football player, doesn't mean he should ever be featured in an NFL game. It's just mind-boggling why they're doing that. I said on this show, I said in Discord, if your question comes down to Audric Estime or Evan Hull, the answer is just no. A couple people, unfortunately, I had to start them as their flex option. Hull went out and did nothing, 5 carries for 3 yards. Estime had 5 for 19, caught 3 balls for 17 yards. Well, Ray, what happened? They gave the ball 12 times on the ground to Taysom Hill. Now, again, from a Saints perspective, Estime and Hull are running backs 3 and 4, right? Neal and Kamara are done. But again, what are we doing with Taysom Hill? He had 12 carries. He threw a touchdown pass to wide open Chris Olave. He caught 4 balls for 36 yards. What are we doing? I've already seen Taysom Hill's a tight end 1 next week. Now, where were the people saying he was a tight end 1 this week? Don't chase points in production. You cannot look at 12 carries, 4 catches, and a touchdown pass and say he's not startable next week. You have to look at it and be like, well, let's dig into this, right? Because the way they utilized him yesterday, but he's just a lockdown tight end 1 next week. Number 1, he's not a tight end. Number 2, if you thought that, I didn't hear a single person say that 24 hours ago. Something to think about. Further, Chris Olave, 10 for 148 and 2, had a strong game there, fantastic game in the fantasy playoffs. And Juwan Johnson, who everyone had to add early, and everyone had to drop in the middle, is back at it. 8 catches for 89 yards. Juwan Johnson, we said it here on the show. Jeff has said it. We talked about it over at FG. Let's look at this real quickly here. I'll pull it up as we're talking. And you remember we talk about all the time about, streaming tight ends. Is it the right thing to do? It's not the right thing to do. I always maintain it's not the right thing to do. And I often say if you just use the same guy by the end of the season, you'll end up with a better line of production. Juwan Johnson's tight end 10. He's tight end 10. And that includes games of 3 points, 2 points, 7 points, 8 points. But I mean, look at this 12, 10, 12, 19, 11, 9, 8, 7, 17. He's tight end 10. Gavin says, if you start Taysom Hill at this point, you should be banned from watching this show in perpetuity. Good word, in perpetuity, by the way. And I'll agree with that. That's a good statement. I like it, Gavin. Chris said, put up 147 points for the struggling Allen, but unfortunately my opponent put up over 200. Thanks again for all the advice this year. Wow. You're welcome, Chris. I'm sorry you didn't win. That was a terribly disappointing game for Josh Allen. 147 points is a big number. I don't know how your league gets 200-point players, bonus points, and all that kind of stuff. People's scoring systems are all different. Normally, 147 points wins. But I'm glad you had a good season. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I'm glad we were able to help you a little bit. Hopefully, next season, maybe next season we can help you out. Angela says, Pitts rules. I've been saying it since preseason. I think he said last week to bench Kyle Pitts, or you were concerned about Kyle Pitts with the return of London. Maybe? Am I making that up? We'll talk a little bit. I might be making that up. We'll talk about Atlanta here in a couple of minutes. Minnesota defeats the Giants 16-13. I would die on a football field. I would get hit one time and my life would flash before my eyes and I'd probably end up in the hospital at this point in my career, my life. J.J. McCarthy went out of that game with that hand injury. How the hell did he hurt his hand? I watched the play multiple times. Okay, he got hit. He was on the sidelines of the training staff. You've all seen the video, right? Like when the training staff's holding his hand and he jumped up like, he'd been shot. Didn't play. They're running more tests on this week. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. It's his throwing hand. You can break. They've got a bazillion bones in your hand. So, okay. No, Angela, that's good. Like Shaggy, it wasn't me. That's good. I like that. That's good. Good one there, Angelo. Nice. Good comeback. So McCarthy, I don't know if he's going to play again this season. I don't know if he's going to play this week. Brosmer came in and, the Vikings lost Mason in this game with injury. We'll see if he plays. Here's another example. Like Aaron Jones touched the ball 23 times. 93 yards. Again, 93 yards, we'll take it. But 23 times, that's it. No end zone play for him. No one got in the end zone here other than J.J. McCarthy himself before injury on that rushing touchdown. Justin Jefferson had 6 for 85, his best game in yardage department since week 5. A good game, a normal Justin Jefferson game. I don't know. We'll see how this goes down the stretch. But again, it's just they won a game to move to 7-8. The Vikings did against a bad Giants team. I don't know what the Giants are trying to get the first pick. Can we just say that? They threw the ball 13 times yesterday. The way to beat the Vikings is to try to pass the ball, right? And instead they tried to run the ball. And Tyrone Tracy actually did a pretty solid job. 16 carries for 71 yards. Singletary had 11 carries for 47 yards. So they actually were effective. 4.4 yards a carry on 27 carries. Okay. They threw the ball 13 times. Wendell Robinson had a 46% target share and caught 3 balls for 19 yards. He was the only player on this team with 10 receiving yards. That's awful. And by the way, they had a 27-yard touchdown return, or the score would have been even worse. But the fact that they were theoretically in this game, the fact that they were tied in the fourth quarter with that offense yesterday, shows you how bad things are for the Vikings. Speaking of things being bad, I am stunned by this. I said on this show, I'm pretty sure it was this show last week, we had a question, and I said, I don't anticipate the Chiefs getting rolled over like the Raiders. They'll show up against the Titans, and they probably put a whooping on them. The Chiefs look like the Raiders yesterday. That was atrocious. Now, last week you lose Patrick Mahomes to an ACL tear. This week you lose Gene Shorts to an ACL tear. You're down to I can't even say the guy's name. Oladukin is the quarterback. Like, I get it, right? But the Titans stomp you out? Like, this game wasn't 26-9, and really, was it that close? I mean, the Titans were in control of this game virtually the entire game. On the Chiefs side, when they went to Oladokun, they had no offense. I mean, Minshew got hurt. He tried to play through it. He couldn't. They didn't do anything through the air. The leading receiver on this team was Isaiah Pacheco, who doesn't even normally catch passes. He led the team in catches and in yards. They threw for 126 yards, did the Chiefs. 126 yards. The leader on the ground was Isaiah Pacheco. So you might think to yourself, hey, man, Pacheco led in rushing and receiving. That's what? 14 touches for 75 yards. Okay. No touchdowns, nothing. That's it. This team ran for what? 42 and 9. They ran for 51 yards if you include the quarterbacks. If you include just the running backs, they ran for 36 yards and they threw for 126 against the freaking Titans. Just awful. Really, really awful. Yeah, Angel says Hunt 2 points. Yeah, and no one should have been using Hunt anyway. We are at a point of the season where Jeff said this last week. I actually said it too last week. Rashad Smith should be on the field. They should be seeing what they got. They're not making the playoffs. We know this. It's over. The season's done. Kareem Hunt is not the answer. I think we know what Isaiah Pacheco is. He's fine, but he's not the answer. I'm not saying Rashad Smith is the answer. But why is he not on the field more? Why is he not touching the ball more? I don't understand. Do that about the thing we were talking about, the Saints. Do that evaluation, Chiefs. They're not doing it. Yeah, you shouldn't be playing Hunt. You shouldn't be playing. I mean, really, if Oladokun is out there, and remember, Rashee Rice wasn't out there yesterday. If Oladokun is out there, do you play anyone here? I mean, Travis Kelce ended up catching one pass for 6 yards, which is probably the biggest negative here for the Chiefs, because we were all very high on him. Travis Kelce was going to get 9 targets this week, and he was going to catch 7 balls for 70 yards with Gardner Minshew. It was going to happen. When Gardner Minshew went down, there went Kelce, and there went the entire offense for the Chiefs. Titans on the other side, I mean, the Titans didn't really do anything, but they played a solid game and won a football game, and good for them. Kyle Benor, 3 catch for 58 yards. Who cares? Chikakonko had a little flip, 7-yard touchdown on one of the flips near the goal line. He had a touchdown and 6 catches. He was a leading pass catcher. DK had a touchdown. DK set an all-time record for return yards for the team, too. I think I saw that. DK's, established himself as much as Kyle Benor has for the future. They need a 1. Obviously, they need to make an addition this offseason. But those 2 youngsters, faring pretty well here. Tony Pollard went for 100 yards again. He had 100 yards after contact yesterday. Broke 8 tackles. He played a strong game against the Chiefs. That's 3 in a row for 100 rushing yards for Pollard. Previously, the 2 games, Tajay Spears just wasn't part of the offense. Yesterday, Spears had a rushing touchdown, and he caught 5 passes. So he actually had 100 yards from scrimmage yesterday and a touchdown. So if you played Spears against the Chiefs yesterday, it would have been the wrong call, but it would have worked out. I'm still stunned as everyone else is with this Pollard thing. 3 consecutive 100-yard games. He's running hard. He's looking good. I think we had him ranked running back 21. Let me pull that up here as we're talking. I hate when I say that and then don't know if it's honest, because I don't like misleading people. I'm not trying to mislead anyone, of course. But let's see. Where is my rankings? Oh, boy. Look at all these rankings. Oh, my gosh. Where are the rankings? There they are. Week 16 rankings. Tony Pollard, running back 23 last week. All right. Next step here, we'll talk Atlanta, Arizona. The Falcons. Kirk Cousins had 2 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. So he actually had 3 touchdowns. He was not helped by his pass catchers. They were dropping passes yesterday. The interception he threw, Drake London, who returned from his knee injury, fell over, just slipped, making a cut. So that was an interception. This game, though, was really about the ground. Pitts, by the way, we were all worried about, the return of London. What would that do? Pitts still had 9 targets on 35 attempts. So it was still a 25+% of the targets. 757 and a touchdown. Another great game for him. I saw a note this morning. He has the most receiving yards in 4 consecutive games. 395, I think it was, by any tight end in Falcons history. Kyle Pitts. London returned and he dropped the pass. He balled another pass. He fell over, as we talked about. 3 for 27. The real storyline, though, in this victory over the Cardinals is the fact that their running game got it done. Both guys had 16 carries. They were within 3 yards of each other, 79 and 76, Algier and Robinson. But boy, is Bijan good. He also added 7 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown. He went over 2,000 scrimmage yards for the season. It seemed like every time he touched the ball, it was 9 yards yesterday. Like, he's just so good. And it's so bad that the Falcons are wasting that. So bad. On the other side of things with the Cardinals, First real stinker that Jacoby Brissett's had in the fantasy playoffs. Now, he went for 203, 1-1. That could very easily have been 220, 2-1. But Trey McBride had a ball hit him in the hands of the goal line and dropped it. Wouldn't have been the easiest catch in the history of the world. There were defenders there and everything, but he should have caught it. In terms of pass catchers, Elijah Higgins, like, come on, man. Like, what? Elijah Higgins catches 7 balls for 91 yards as Trey McBride goes 4 for 27. Like, really? That's what we got yesterday. If you use Trey McBride, I feel for you, man, because Trey McBride has been a superstar, having one of the greatest tight end seasons of all time. And he does that while Elijah Higgins catches 7 balls for 91 yards, the greatest game of his career. I don't get it either. Michael Wilson had that spectacular catch in the end zone, 2 for 52 in a touchdown, so he paid off if he used him. If you haven't seen the catch, go look at it. It was defenders, his rolling around, the whole thing was pretty amazing. Marvin Harrison caught 1 ball for 14 yards. He had a ball slip through his hands. It would have been a touchdown. Yeah. I mean, this is just the offense stopped working, which is really not something we've seen in 2 months, 2 full months. Which Jacoby Brissett, he made some bad decisions. His teammates dropped some passes, but he, as Jeff Mann said, threw a couple of hospital balls, almost got his guys killed yesterday. Just didn't do well. It just was a bad offensive game for the Cardinals, who fall to 3-12. Michael Carter, 11 carries for 64 yards. DeMarcado got passed by someone named Kiner. Yeah, it's a mess heading forward here. But the biggest, Trey McBride, just brutal with Elijah. It's one thing for the team just to suck and not to happen and just doesn't work. But to see Elijah Higgins, do that, yikes. Jacksonville defeated Denver, and I got to tell you, I mean, Denver's now 12-3. The Jaguars are 11-4. Who's playing better football? I saw a note that the Broncos against teams that were 500, or teams that are 500 right now, they're 3-3. Jaguars went into Denver and stomped them out pretty damn good. And, Trevor Lawrence, who has rightfully been smashed for all these years for his lack of production and lack of living up to his potential, I mean, dude's balling right now. He had 4 more touchdowns yesterday, 3 passing and a rushing touchdown. Clearly, Liam Cohen has got the offense humming. Lawrence has got it figured out. He's settled in, and this team is dangerous. That's not a whooping they put on the Broncos yesterday, but it pretty close to a whooping was. Like, that game was never really in doubt from halftime on. Like, the Jaguars played a really good football game yesterday. Travis Etienne didn't really do much, but got in the end zone as a pass catcher and had 20 touches. He saw his snap share increase substantially with Tootin out of the mix there because of the injury. On the pass catching side of things, touchdown for Brenton Strange, 5 catches, 39-1. Parker Washington, 6 for 145-1, breaking tackles, like 150 air yards in this game. Had a massive game. But Brian Thomas, 2 catches for 18 yards. And Jeff Mann said this a lot in the offseason, and it's continued to be true this year, even with the new offense. Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas just don't have much of a connection. A lot of the success that Thomas had last year in his breakout rookie season was with Mac Jones. And this just goes to show you how quickly things change. We saw Brian Thomas last year be a special football player. Special, right? Setting records as a rookie, making great catches, production, week after week, 75 yards. Same quarterback, same team, new head coach, new offense. Brian Thomas is just there. I mean, Jacoby Myers had 8 targets, 4 catches, 45 yards. So it's Parker Washington kind of floating in and out. Myers is the one, right? Thomas is their 3rd wide receiver. And yesterday he had 3 targets. He was behind Brenton Strange. Yikes. On the Denver side of thing, RJ Harvey is the lead running back. RJ Harvey got a touchdown on the ground, so that was great. He actually caught, 4 passes for 71 yards. So he only had 11 touches, which right? Yeah. He had 120 scrimmage yards in the touchdown. So he is clearly the number 1 back. He's playing all the snaps now. He's even being used in the 2-minute drill, which is not something they were using. Yesterday was the first time he's played snaps in the 2-minute drill all season long. So he's the only game in town on the ground. In the air, Cortland Sutton, 6 for 86 and a touchdown. We got a customer service email. Someone was bitching and moaning, yelling, complaining, being an asshat a couple of days ago last week, saying, you guys have all said play Cortland Sutton every week. I don't get it. I don't know how many people look at the stats besides just being angry. Cortland Sutton is a top 10 wide receiver in a PPR setup. Not 30, not 20. He's top 10 after yesterday. That's why you keep playing Cortland Sutton, because he's a top 10 wide receiver, you buffoon. Cortland Sutton, 12 targets, 6 catches, 86 yards, and a score. Franklin went 4 for 66. Bryant went 5 for 42. Obviously, Bryant got hit late, had to be taken off the field on a stretcher and all things. Good reporting. He's been released from the hospital, I think I saw this morning. So we'll see if he's going to play or not, but very good news. He's healthy and okay. Questionable that he'll be active the next game, I think, would be fair. Evan Ingram, a couple catches, who cares? Marvin Mims, a couple catches, who cares? Little Jordan Humphrey will probably see a snap share increase. Not that it'll really do anything with it, with Bryant likely out for the next game for the Broncos, but that wasn't a very good game yesterday. They got beat pretty bad by the Jaguars. Pittsburgh defeated Detroit 29-24. A couple major things here. One, and this has been said, this is my first initial thought when this happened, and people were saying it pretty immediately, so it's not like I came up with something no one's thinking about. In New York, they can call in and change plays, right? The front office of the NFL can call in and make changes to plays. They don't even have to be asked. You don't have to throw a flag. Eye in the sky can make changes. They can take players off the field. Oh, he's a little wobbly there after that big hit. Take him off the field. We saw that happen. Saw that happen in this game, I think, yesterday. How is it that we all know, because we saw it was shown over and over again, because the broadcasters talked about it for 15 minutes, because Nance and Romo kept mentioning it throughout the game. How is it that we all know that DK Metcalf was talking to a fan and threw a punch at the fan? Now, he actually missed. Thank God for the fan. But he threw a punch at the fan. How is it that the officials can't then eject him from the game? And the reason is because they're playing the Lions and there's playoff implications, right? That's the conspiracy theory. The reality is, I didn't look at this. The reality is it's probably not one of the things they can review, right? But we can review everything on a football field, including taking guys off the field if we think they got a head injury or they're hurt. But we can't use replay to throw a guy out of the game who threw a punch at a fan. DK Metcalf is almost certainly, I would be stunned if he doesn't get suspended. So what does this mean? This means the Steelers, is their number one pass catcher going to be Adam Thielen next game? Adam Thielen, really? Number one pass catcher is probably going to be Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell, again, fifth catch, 5 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown. He ran for 50 yards. I think Gainwell's caught 5 passes in 5 or 6 games. Gainwell's their leading pass catcher. They're 9-6. They're looking at making the playoffs, the Steelers. For the 22nd consecutive season, the Steelers have had a 500 or better record, the all-time NFL record. It looked bleak for the Steelers a few weeks ago. Now they're going to make the playoffs again. Everyone hates Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. I don't get it. But anyway, their leading pass catcher is Gainwell. They don't have a pass catcher out wide if indeed DK is suspended for the next game, which I, again, anticipate. Washington, Freiermuth, and Jonnu Smith all run 25 routes, all see 3 targets, all catch 2 or 3 passes. There's nothing there to see at the tight end position. None of them are usable in fantasy. We know that. Jaylen Warren was kind of, then he ripped off a couple of big runs there, a 45-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter, followed by another 45-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter. And all of a sudden, Jaylen Warren, who was like, oh, crap, I played Jaylen Warren today, ends up with 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this offense has really become just about the 2 running backs. I think we all know that. Aaron Rodgers made some nice plays, extended plays, made some nice decisions, all that. And they beat the Lions at home as the Lions fall to 8-7. The Lions can still make the playoffs, but their chances, 12%, something really small number. Now, everyone's talking about the final play of the game. The bottom line is it was offensive pass interference, so it doesn't matter. The lateral and what the referees should not have said it's a touchdown on the field, because you can't be a touchdown on the field if there's an offensive penalty, number one. Number two, why did it take 2 minutes? I don't know. It took 2 full minutes for all the referees to talk, for New York to get involved. I don't know. If you missed it, what happened is Amon-Ra St. Brown ran into the end zone, pushed off the defender, turned around, came back to Goff, caught the ball, got hit. They started driving him backwards. As he started to fall, he flipped the ball as he was falling down to Jared Goff, who grabbed the ball and dove in the end zone for a touchdown. Now, again, it was offensive pass interference on Amon-Ra St. Brown, so the game was over. It doesn't matter. I don't know why it took 2 minutes. I don't know why all the back and forth. I don't know. And it's just a bad look for the NFL. Just a really bad look for the NFL. There was also another penalty called. There was actually 2 touchdowns the Lions could have scored that they didn't there at the end of the game. There's too much officials in all sports. I think there's too much officiating. At some point you just got to let them play. unfortunately, this game was marred by a lot of officials at the end. Raiders almost beat the Texans. I and everyone else was not expecting this. The Texans kind of hung on here. 21-23 was the scores. The Raiders fall to 2-13. Ashton Genty, if you played him, and not many wanted to. Ashton Genty, to be honest, what do we have Genty ranked at last week? Where is Genty? Las Vegas. Yeah, we had him ranked 30th, 31st because of that matchup with Houston. So, if I had Genty and I didn't have him on any team, I'm still probably would have started him as my flex option. But dude went nuts. He went absolutely nuts. He went ham, as the kids say, or they used to. 128 yards on the ground and a touchdown. He caught a 60-yard touchdown pass as well. He had 190 yards from scrimmage and 2 scores. Just went nuts. He was the entire offense. Geno Smith returned. My supposition, which was shared here on the show, was that Genty will be back into fantasy and the ability to start Genty because Geno Smith has thrown the ball to him an awful lot. He's getting them 5-6 catches on a frequent basis here the last month when he's been starting. Well, they only saw 2 targets yesterday, but it didn't matter because he ran for 128 yards. He had a huge game. Brock Bowers had a touchdown, 5 catches for 33 yards and a touchdown. No one did anything as a pass catcher other than Genty and Bowers. That was it. Those 2 plays were basically their entire offense in the air. And basically the entire offense was Genty. But they hung in this game, and it was close. Texans barely hung on for this one. They needed a late catch by Nico Collins. I think it was a 3rd down catch down the sideline there to really salt the game away. CJ Stroud went for 187 and 1, and he did not play a good game. He did not look good. He just didn't. That's just reality is what it is there. He did not play a good football game. Didn't do much to support his pass catchers. Dalton Schultz, 5 for 35 and a touchdown. Again, 5 catches, what Schultz does every week. Nico Collins, 4 for 59. Terribly disappointing against the Raiders. Jalen Noel, barely saw the field. It looks like Christian Kirk has retaken the slot duties there, so that's disappointing. Higgins played a lot of snaps, and he's out there all the time. Caught 1 ball. He didn't do anything, so that was a nobody here. The bottom line is this. If you used any pass catcher in this game besides Dalton Schultz, you didn't get what you were hoping for. On the ground, I'm in Discord on Sunday mornings helping folks with questions, start and sit and all that. And I always leave about 10 minutes before the start of the game. And right as I was leaving, there was all this talk about, Woody Marks going to be out for the game, which he was. After his head coach last week said he was fine. And people were, Nick Chubb's name kept coming up in Discord. And I was like, whoa, Nick Chubb. Stop. People, don't try to be a hero. No, we're not doing Nick Chubb. I don't know why people were trying to play Nick Chubb. I don't know why anyone would have played Chubb or Jordan because, as I pointed out, in addition to my don't use these guys. Yeah. Oh, good. Dave, look at David. All right, David. I did recommend Genty to somebody. All right, way to go, David. Sorry you didn't win, but at least we got that part of the thing right here. I said the running backs for the Texans don't do anything. They don't do anything. Jordan had 20 touches. How many yards did he have? 71? No scores. He didn't do anything. Nick Chubb played 20 snaps, had 7 touches, didn't do anything. If you made it, don't be a hero, especially in the fantasy playoffs. Finally, New England defeats the Ravens. The Ravens, who were going to win the division, right? Are they even going to make the playoffs? They need 47 things to happen now to make the playoffs. They fell to 7-8. Patriots improved to 12-3. This game was 24-13 after Derrick Henry's rushing touchdown in the 4th quarter. Patriots down by 11 points in the 4th quarter, and they scored 2 touchdowns to win the game. Drake May, first game this year of 300 yards. How amazing is that? He's been terrific this year. That's his first 300-yard game. 382 touchdowns and interception. He also fumbled the ball, but we won't care about that. We'll care about the positivity. Stephon Diggs had a huge game, 9 for 138. Matt Collins came through, 7 for 69. Butte was hurt right at the end of the game last week. So keep an eye on that, or yesterday, excuse me. So keep an eye on that. Kyle Williams, the youngster, had a touchdown yesterday. He would see his role grow, Williams, if Butte is unable to play. Hunter Henry caught 6 balls with a touchdown. Everyone kind of came through there. On the ground, obviously, the big story was the injury to Trevion Henderson. Ramondre Stevenson ended up playing all the snaps. He played 64 or 70 snaps or something like that. He didn't really do much, but he got in the end zone on the ground. He had 10 touches for about, 80 yards, 75 yards of offense, something like that. So, for all the situation with Henderson, that's the real big takeaway here is we're not certain if he's going to go. Though we know if he's not going to go, what that means that Stevenson will lead the way. On the other side of things here, look, Lamar Jackson's hurt. He's been hurt for a long time. And we've seen him on the injury report with like 6 different injuries. Right now it's his back. The hit that theoretically knocked him out of the game last night was weak. Just weak. But I didn't see the post-game press conference, but it's been reported that he was like leaning against the stand, like he's hurt. Okay, he is. He's hurt. He's beat up. The team's not winning, but they can't win without him, man. And so when they went to Huntley last night, and Huntley was fine, but really disappointing for this Ravens team to lose him. Zay Flowers, a second week in a row, the Zay Flowers had this amazing experience here. He got 7 balls for 84 yards. He had a rushing touchdown. Also had a fumble. Like Zay Flowers is basically their offense besides Derrick Henry right now. And it's a wild up and down performance every week, it seems like, with Zay Flowers. Henry played 24 snaps, which is not a lot. He did have 18 touches, which is a good amount. 128 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, so he did his thing. But that's it. That's Isaiah Likely ran 12 routes, didn't see a target. Mark Andrews ran 12 routes, caught 2 balls. This offense is just broken. It's just broken. And last night, the defense, which has been so much better in the second half of the season, they broke in the fourth quarter. So we'll see. There is a path. There is a scenario for the Ravens. I'll get into all the numbers. I try to list those in my article this week, and everyone will be talking about it too. But Ravens are at 7-8, and not looking good. And the Patriots at 12-3. It's looking really good. I'm Ray Flowers of FantasyGuru.com. Look at that. We almost did exactly an hour or two here on the show. Hopefully you enjoyed today's show. Hopefully you'll be back tomorrow. If you missed it at the start, we'll be here every day but Thursday. The only day we'll take off this week is Christmas Day. I'll be back tomorrow with Armando Marsal. He'll join at about 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. I think it'll be Justin Fensterman and Rich Mileto on Wednesday. We'll take that Thursday off. And then Friday, Russell Clay will join me. All the articles, all the analysis, and everything per usual will be up over at FantasyGuru.com. Okay. I will not be posting my article on Thursday because I'll be posting it on Wednesday night. So my game day matchup piece, where I look at all the snap counts and routes run and recent production and matchup stuff, all of that will come out Wednesday night. I still plan to have my Coffin Corner piece on Friday. What the hell? We'll see. Maybe I won't do it, but I probably will. But anyway, we're over at FantasyGuru.com. We're all in Discord. We're answering questions. We're writing articles. We're here to help you out. Remember, right now, all of our football coverage, college and pro football, for everything the rest of the way, besides the Super Bowl betting guide, one price. You get all of our DFS coverage, all of our betting coverage, and all of our seasonal coverage for both those. That's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. So if you want to purchase that, please click the subscribe tab in the top right corner. Send an email to support@fantasyguru.com. Remember, you can buy gift cards. You don't have to give the gift card away. You can buy it and use it yourself. And whatever level of gift card you buy, we give you some free FG bucks on top of it. Starting out, like if you spend $25, we give you 10 free, right? So You'll be able to get a little bonus for yourself, a little stocking stuffer to give away, put in your own stocking. Hey, man, we're not judging. We don't judge here. Just join us over at FantasyGuru.com. Great group of people there, great group of analysts, and I think a pretty good product, which I hope that most of you will agree with. All right, I'm out. I'm ready to go and get going on the game day matchup recap article or preview piece. Excuse me. It's a preview piece that will be out Wednesday night this week. It's normally about 11,000-ish words with charts and tables and all that kind of stuff. So I'll get going on that. Jeff Mans will be on the Elite Sports Show from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio here in about an hour. I'm going to eat a breakfast burrito. I haven't had one of those in a while. Does that sound good? I don't know. It's a frozen one. It's probably going to be awful. I'm trying to clear out some space in the freezer. You know how that goes when you start one. Okay, honey, I'll have a burrito 3 days in a row to get rid of them. So wish me luck. Hopefully it won't blow my stomach up. If it does, I'll tell you about it tomorrow. I'm Ray Flowers. Head over to FG, click that subscribe tab, send that email to support@fantasyguru.com. And we'll see you again here tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by Fantasy Guru.